The 5 things that you need to have a fully booked sales calendar 7 days a week. Number 1 is established authority. It's clear that you are an expert in the target market that you are going after. You want to have a fully booked calendar, it needs to be very clear that you're an expert. When you think about PT domination, I've got 1,200 podcast episodes, 3,000 posts on Instagram. I post 6 times a day. When somebody finds my profile, it's very clear that I know what I'm doing and that I'm an expert. So number 1 is established authority. Number 2 is the parasocial relationship. Now, the parasocial relationship refers to the relationship that an audience member has with a member of the media, the same neurons fire in their brains as if they were your friends. Who here has popped off on social media? Now, if you popped off on social media, have you ever met somebody in person that came up to you, that follows you on social media, like, oh my God, Matt, bro, oh my God, can real that you did, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, nice to meet you. Right? But it's like, the reason that that's a thing is because they view you as a friend. So when they're watching you on video and they're consuming your content, they watch your personality, they view you as a friend, which is why when they see you in person, they're like, I don't know your name. Hello, nice to meet you. All right, so the parasocial relationship. 3, undeniable evidence. This is proof that you absolutely 100% know what you're talking about and that you are an expert and you have the social proof to back it up with your own story and stories of your clients. 4, a growing audience. And we're going to talk about how to get a growing audience today. I'm going to give you guys some stuff I'm going to give you guys a cheat code, and then Cole's going to go in some deep tomorrow for you guys for growing the audience. But you absolutely need to have a growing audience. If you don't have a growing audience, you're going to be speaking to the same crowd over and over again. And number 5, the perfect DM process. And I actually took a couple hours and I wrote you guys the perfect DM script, and I'm going to give it to you guys today. This is the culmination of everything we've been doing over the last 7 years and some of our best millionaire mastermind stuff. So I'm going to give it to you guys today, the perfect DM script. Cool. Let's break each one down. Number 1, established authority. So with established authority, the first thing we need to ask ourselves is your bio extremely clear on who you are and how you help people? Extremely clear. And so an example of an extremely clear bio, Brian Marmark, business coach for online trainers. Pretty obvious what I do. DM 10K for info. The most valuable business account on Instagram, DM me 10K to grow your fitness business from 10K to 100K a month. Apply to work with me. And then the URL says LY, build your online fitness business. Pretty easy to see what I do, right? So if you look at your bio, is it very abundantly clear who it is that you're helping and how they can reach out to you for support? So that's the first thing. Second thing, does your content speak specifically to that person? Because a lot of you guys, what you do is you're like, I help busy parents lose 10 pounds or more, and then none of your content speaks to them. Generic fitness advice. So just because you change your bio doesn't establish you as an authority, because when that busy parent comes to your page, the first thing they're going to do, they're going to watch your content, they're going to watch your stories, they might tune into a live stream to see if you're actually talking about that would resonate with them. So does your content speak specifically to that person? And if you watch this.
Personal trainer posting 5 times a week and your content isn't getting views, it's not the algorithm. Your content just sucks, bruh. But don't worry, let me put you on some game. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and start watching some of my content. I post 6 times a day, 7 days a week, content to help you go viral and sign clients with your online fitness business. So if you want to get results like this, make sure you follow me and start watching some of my content.
Content speaks specifically to personal trainers that are trying to grow their fitness business. Does your content speak specifically to the person that you were trying to attract, or are you posting generic fitness advice because you saw it on somebody else's page and you saw it going viral? 3, the way you act, the way you talk, does it resonate with your ideal client, right? Like if you're trying to work with moms that are trying to lose weight and you're wearing a cutoff tee and you're like, if you want to lose that mom pooch, it's kind of weird, right? So the way that you act and the way that you speak, does it speak to that specific person? Would they resonate with that specific type of behavior, with the way that you're dressing, the way that you dress, the way that you carry yourself? It all matters. You're trying to work with busy moms and you're wearing wife beaters. Do you really think that they're going to approach somebody that has a wife beater that thinks he's cool, popping off about losing a mom pooch? Probably not, right? So the way you carry yourself and the way that you speak. So this is Clayton Snyder. And I just want you guys to pay attention to his presentation. He's not he's speaking directly to their pain points, but he's got a t-shirt on. He's speaking calmly and confidently. Clayton Snyder is right now, he's the best coach for busy moms, I think, on the internet. So
pounds in the next 16 weeks as a busy mom. Here are some of the foods I'd be eating. Hard-boiled eggs. I'm not a huge hard-boiled egg guy, but I know a lot of you ladies are busy on the go, so this is a much better option than just grabbing a
calm demeanor. He's not coming at the camera super aggressively, because you think a busy mom is gonna respond well to somebody being like, you're fat as fuck if you're eating this, right? So it's we have to think about who it is that we're trying to speak to when we're creating our content.
Chips mixed with some Greek yogurt together with some protein powder mixed into the Greek yogurt. This is gonna have amazing macronutrients
Calm,
in terms of keeping
collected.
you full with the protein.
He
and
looks
just measure out
professional,
the
but he doesn't look
serving.
like a
There's only
douchebag.
around 5 to 12 grams of carbs, but have the discipline to just do one serving. Last but not least, some 96.4 lean ground beef. I personally love the Siete taco seasoning. If you get tired of having it in ground beef form, what I do is form it into little.
You guys get the point. So basically what I'm saying is like the way that you present yourself on camera needs to speak to the type of person that you're trying to work with. If you want established authority. The story that you have about your journey, does it say authority, right? Does it say authority? Are you sharing your story enough so that your audience can see that you're credible enough to deliver the information to them? This is why I talk about my come up story. This is why I talk about how I came from nothing and now I have the Lambo. Like that type of stuff, like your audience needs to see that you've been through the journey. So are you sharing that? One of our clients recently was struggling with booking calls and I looked at his Instagram account and he used to share his story a lot and he stopped sharing his story and he just started sharing him jacked as. I'm like, you need to stop doing that. I'm like, your audience doesn't see you as relatable. They just see you as like this jacked person and they look at you, they're like, cool, you're jacked, but like, I'm not gonna get there. You need to show them the journey that you've been on so that they can follow that journey and say like, okay, like I trust this dude, he's been where I wanna be. Are you currently walking the talk that you're trying to sell? You're a fitness coach and you're not fucking eating healthy, right? You're a fitness coach that's preaching like, oh, work on your mindset. It's like, this is established authority because it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. It's like that energy that comes across. And this comes back to the emotional intelligence conversation, right? People don't listen to what you say, they watch who you are. They absorb who you are and they respond to who you are. And so again, are you walk and talk? This is Trent. So he's one of our clients. So he's got 1.1 million. So again, walking the talk he's trying to sell. Life lately. God has been so good to me. I looked at my life through the 4 F's: family, fitness, finances, and faith. I asked myself how I'm doing these 4 pillars on a regular basis. A life of purpose isn't just a life of pursuit. Even though I've been beyond blessed lately, I'm also learning how to be content in all things. The 4 F: faith, family, fitness, finances. But he's just showing a picture of him and his family living a fit and healthy lifestyle. So when his audience sees that, they see that he's walking the fucking talk and that he's not just this like social media guy that posts all this stuff. And that's why Trent has a business that does $200,000 to $300,000 a month. He's established himself as an authority. Does this make sense? Cool. Are you emulating the principles that you were trying to coach on? And this comes back to that deep internal work that we talked about, right? When you start doing the deep internal work and you actually become the things you're teaching others, it's easy for people to be receptive to your voice and your energy because it's like they see who you are. Who you are speaks louder than the words that you're saying out of your mouth. So are you emulating the principles that you're trying to coach on? All of these elements combined create established authority, right? So again, is your bio extremely clear on who you do and how you help? Does your content speak specifically to that person? The way you act, the way you talk, does it resonate with that person? The way you dress and carry yourself, does it resonate? The story you have about your journey, does it say authority? Are you currently walking the talk you're trying to sell? And are you emulating the principles you're trying to coach on? So I want you to give yourself a rating on a scale of 1 to 10. This is just for you. Based on this information, if somebody went to your social media profile and the information I just gave you on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your rating? I feel like I'm at a 9. I don't think I'm perfect, but I think I'm pretty good. But this is really important when it comes to your social media because if you go viral, but you don't have this, people come to your page, they don't know who you are, what you do, how you like, and then they look some of your content, it's confusing, it's all over the place. They're not gonna follow you and they're not gonna buy. Make sense? Cool. Next, the parasocial relationship. This refers to the relationship that an audience member has with members of the media. Again, the same neurons fire in their brains as if they're speaking to and talking to their own friend. In short, the more that you show up on video for your audience, the more they'll feel a deep sense of trust and connection with you, which is why when you asked me for a content earlier, I was like, I'm not giving you a content audit because you haven't posted yet. I was like, once you post, I'll take a look at your content. But in order for people to get to know you, you need to post yourself on video. And guys, you're gonna fucking suck at first. I feel like everybody here is posting video content for the most part. Raise your hand if you are. All right, so like that's step 1, okay? So you guys understand that part, that's step 1. But if you guys want a fully booked calendar, then you need to go to step 2 and 3 because talking on Reels is not enough if you want a fully booked sales calendar. Don't get me wrong, it's a start, but as soon as a mastermind student comes to me and they're like, yo, my calendar's not full. I'm like, show me your story archives. You show me the story archives, no talking stories. I'm like, so basically what you do is every time you're interested in working with your audience, you put up a CTA and you're like, work with me. And you never talk to them, you never communicate with them, you never do a Q&A, you never answer their questions, you never do anything, you're just like, work with me. And you're wondering why your sales calendar is empty. I'm like, do you ever go live? They're like, no. I'm like, okay, so your audience just sees your Reels and then you expect them to follow you and watch your short form content that's obviously scripted and then buy from you? Get it? Right? Your audience needs to see who you are. They need to see how you speak, how you act, how you like carry yourself, and not on video because, not just on short form video, because anyone with a brain can use ChatGPT to come up with a script for their videos and then go to the camera and say what's on that script. And your audience isn't stupid. They know that. right? So like when your audience is watching your videos, even though they know it's valuable, they also know it's scripted. So that doesn't create a deep sense of trust. Does that make sense? Versus when you're live and you're having a communication, you're talking to your audience, you're like, oh, what's going on, Max? You know, what's going on, Dana? What's going on, Matt? Hope you guys are having a great day. Boom, now I'm actually live in the moment, right? Same thing with podcasts. The reason I do so many podcasts is like, I'm just going off the cuff. I'm talking about what I'm passionate about. You guys hear about my relationship. You hear about like something I'm struggling with. You relate with me as a fucking human. Because you do that, you have a deeper sense of trust with me. Then if somebody finds me, they start listening to my podcast, they listen to 5 episodes, they DM me, they're like, holy fuck, bro, I got so much value from your podcast. Like, what is it like to work with you? Bam. Make sense? It's a lot deeper of a sense of trust than if I were to just do a talking reel. People want the real you, which is why you're gonna have to go off the cuff. Be unscripted. Speak your opinion. Be real. Be imperfect. A lot of you guys are so afraid of like putting content out there and being imperfect that you don't just start the podcast and start talking. Just talk about what? I don't know. You've been alive for 35 years. I'm sure you could find out something to talk about. Just talk. Just fucking talk. You need to be imperfect. You need to be real. This is how you're going to get a fully booked calendar. Now, if you guys struggle with talking to the camera and you're like nervous about talking to the camera and you don't want to go live, just talk to your Instagram stories. And I guarantee you, every person in this room is not talking to the stories enough. Who actually has a relationship with their Instagram audience through relationship stories besides Cole? Matt, there we go. To Instagram stories. 3 out of 40. Cole is probably the best at it in the room, I'll be honest. You guys need to develop a relationship with your Instagram stories. Develop a relationship with your audience. This needs to be a regular occurrence if you want a fully booked calendar. But live streaming is significantly more valuable. Who goes live 3 to 5 times a week? Raise your hand. 2 people, me and Cole. I can't go live because I'm restricted, but that's besides the point. There's a reason we go live.
What if nobody shows up?
That's the point. Nobody's gonna show up. You haven't given them a reason to yet.
When I did my first live workout, 2 people showed up. One was my daughter and one was my mom.
Now when you do a live workout, how many people show up?
There was like 300 people at one of them. Holy shit.
Of course nobody shows up. They don't know who you are. You haven't showed your face on social media before. Why would they show up? But all of a sudden you do one and they're like, oh, that was kind of good actually. And then the next time they see you go live, they're gonna tune in. And then another person tunes in, they're like, oh, that's kind of good. Then all of a sudden you go from 1 person to 7 people. Then you're speaking to those 7 people. And listen, even if no one shows up, but you post it on Facebook, and then 3 people watch the replay, 1 person's like, holy fuck, that was awesome, DMs you about coaching and pays you $1,000. Is that worth it? 100%. You need to go off the cuff. You need to be real. You need to be authentic. If you guys aren't getting fully booked sales calendars, this is a part of it. First time I ever took live streaming seriously, I was starting to get into podcasting like multiple times a week. And I was live streaming on Instagram. I'm like, this is really effective. So I was like, I'm going to see if I can double my output. So I literally bought a second phone so I could connect to Wi-Fi, and then I could go live in 2 places at the exact same time, Facebook and Instagram at the same time with 2 different phones. And that same day that I bought that phone to go live on Facebook and Instagram, somebody watched my Facebook live and then signed up for coaching and paid me $5,000 literally that day. I was like, oh, live streaming is very effective, all right? So going live, it's important. Long form content. Again, there's a reason that I've done 1,275 podcast episodes. When somebody finds my podcast, they find the real me. Who has a podcast here? It's actually really easy to set up. If you guys don't have a podcast, I've got to connect. Write this down, Travis Brown. Travis Brown. It's a guy on Instagram. He'll get you all set up. He'll get you on Apple, Spotify, iTunes, all of it. It's like $1,500. He has like a PT Dom package that he built specifically for us. It's usually more expensive. Travis Brown, DM on him on Instagram and tell him Brian sent you. He'll tell you what mic to buy. He'll help you with your intro music, your outro music, your cover art, all of it. It's really easy. When somebody finds my podcast, they find the real me. It's 15, 20, 60 minutes of pure value, and it's just me, my personality, my vibe, which creates a deep sense of trust. All of these elements combined create the parasocial relationship with you and your audience, and they start to view you as friends. Babe, we've talked about this. How many people will come out to you in public and they'll be like, oh my God, Kirsten, your live streams. And you're like, hi. But they view you as a friend because they watch you on live. They watch they like see you. They know you. They like know your daughter's name. They know Mr. Fluffy Pants' name. So the more you go live and the more that you pop off on social media and people see you on video, they will start to view you as a friend. 3, undeniable evidence. This is where a lot of you guys struggle, okay? I feel like this is why a lot of you guys struggle to book sales calls. It's because you don't put out enough proof because you don't want to feel salesy or spammy. How many of you guys feel like that? You don't want to be like, I don't want to fucking spam my audience. I don't want to be salesy. I'm the opposite. I'm like, look at this motherfuckers, okay? Look at this client, and then this client, and then this client, then this client, then this client. You guys gotta like, this comes back to like the self-love thing. I'm a pretty good business coach and I'm willing to show that to you. And I don't care if you like it or dislike it because I like me, right? I don't care what people perceive me as salesy or unsalesy. I'm just showing you you want to perceive that as salesy or unsalesy, that's your problem and not mine, right? Undeniable evidence. You guys need to post more social proof. This is by far the single most important aspect of turning a complete stranger into a paying client. Even if you have 100 people in your audience, this will make the biggest difference. But most of you guys, what you do is you just post before and afters, which I think is a big mistake. My question for you is, how much proof do you have? How much proof do you have? And if you don't have enough, go get some for free. You're like, I don't have enough proof. Go get some free proof. Go work with people for free, create some testimonials, and then create proof. We have one of our clients in VIP. His name's Joe. He's doing like $70K a month. He actually came to one of the first Elite Masterminds too, which is cool. He wanted to start going to church and then charging the churches a certain amount of money to teach them how to use social media to get more people to come to the parish. And so he like tried to pitch his offer, but he has zero social proof. So mine and Cole's advice to him was very simple. I'm like, bro, if you want to do this, you need to work for free. Collect a bunch of social proof, get 5 churches on board, sell them on the idea, work with them for free, then start advertising that. So now that's what he's doing, and he's built some relationships with some churches. So again, if you don't have enough proof, work for free until you do. I guarantee you guys are getting this wrong, because if you don't want to be salesy and post all the time, I'm telling you, if you walk away from this event and you just make the commitment, you're going to post social proof every day for the rest of your life, your business will explode, guaranteed. So again, how much proof do you have? This is Don Lamb. He's doing $500,000 a month, and he never posts on social media. The only thing you can post is on his social proof page. His social proof page has he has a DIY body clients page. You don't necessarily have to do that, but I just wanted to show you, when you look through Don's page, yeah, clearly he knows what he's doing. So when people find his page, all followers are not created equal. When a follower finds his page, they're like, this guy knows what he's doing. And that follower is significantly more likely to buy, which is why it doesn't matter that he only has 11,000 followers, because he's got 200, 300 clients that pay him money out of that 11,000. That's only 1% of his following. So if you guys have 100,000 followers, you have 10,000 followers, you have 1,000 followers, if 1% of your following is interested, you guys get what I'm saying? Post more proof. So again, proof can come in many forms. So this is an example of how you could use social proof. Now, if your client is speaking German, so here's what I would do. I'll play the video and then I'll explain.
$2,000 in 28 days as an online fitness coach. Check this out.
Yo, Brian and Cole, just wanted to send you an update video. So we ran our numbers, and in 28 days, myself and my team at DIY Body, we ended up hitting $532,000. This was by far.
So what you could do is you could do this with testimonial videos. So if your client lost 35 pounds in 20 weeks, Sarah lost 35 pounds in 20 weeks, check this out. And then you just watch her video. And then as you're watching her video, you pause for a second. And then you're like, so when she struggled with this, what we really focused on is X, Y, Z, Z, Y. And that was why we were able to have that breakthrough. And then you just go back to watching the video. And if you're interested in working with me and getting results like Sarah, comment or DM me 10K and I'll reach out to you to see if you wouldn't say 10K, but you get the point, right? So that's one way you could do it, is by, watching her video. But again, one of the questions you had was okay, but my clients are speaking in German. How do I use that? You're like, my client Sarah lost 35 pounds in 6 months. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what we did. Step number 1, and then da-da-da-da. Step number 2, da-da-da-da-da. Step number 3, da-da-da-da-da. Here's another way you could use it. I'm going to show you some examples. But you can be like, my client Sarah first reached out. She told me that she couldn't even look at herself in the mirror. And this is her starting photo. And now she looks like this. This was the transformation. And in this video, I'm going to break down the mindsets behind that transformation. Bam. You can find different creative ways to do the before and after. So you could use the same before and after every week. So doing a progress update. You could also do the before and after this week and then tell a story about where she first started to where she's at now and just walk through the transformation. You could do a before and after and show the most dramatic before and after of that client and just say, my client lost this time in this week. If you want results like this, vote here. There's 100 different ways to use the same story over and over again. And you don't have to screenshot the messages. That's only a small part of it. You could also screenshot the trainerized graphs. Right, you could screenshot the check-in compliance. Not to brag or anything, but I'm the best business coach for personal trainers on the planet. So again, it's just another way you can do social proof is value to start the video. Not to brag or anything, but I'm pretty freaking good at teaching men how to lose body fat. And then all these social proof pops up, right? So you could do social proof into a value video. Does that make sense? So then I go into a step-by-step process in order to do that. Start my business from scratch and get it to $10,000 a month. Here's exactly what I would do. So again, social proof to value is one way that you could do that. Another way you could do is value to social proof. So this is one of my clients, Emily. This is how she's using social proof in her videos.
Fat as quickly and sustainably as possible, here's what you need to do. And this is how my clients typically lose 5 to 10 pounds within their first 6 weeks.
Boom. See that? Fast. Emily's doing $40,000 a month. So she started working social proof into her content. So she's teaching a specific concept. You're like, this is how my client Terry lost 35 pounds in the last 6 months. And then bam, you're back into the video. Write this down, okay? Great marketing is saying the same thing 100 different ways. That's great marketing. It's saying the same thing 100 different ways. Every time you guys see me do a CTA on my Instagram story, promoting the Change Abs Academy. But every time I do a CTA on my Instagram story, it looks a little bit different, right? That's why some of you guys vote on all my CTAs. You're like, oh, what's this? Oh my God, it's a CLA. You're like, oh, okay. What's this? CLA. Oh, okay, got it. But that's great marketing. Great marketing is being able to say the same thing 100 different ways. And so let's talk about Sarah's transformation. You could do a value video about fat loss where you mentioned Sarah. You could talk about, the best foods to eat in order to lose weight that you taught your client Sarah that lost 35 pounds. You could also do a social proof video of just Sarah's transformation. My client Sarah lost 35 pounds in 6 months. Let's check out her story. And then you just watch the video, right? You could also do a social proof video where you show you watching Sarah talk about her transformation. You could do a before and after carousel about Sarah's transformation. You could do a story sequence about where Sarah started versus where she's at right now. Does this make sense? Like, you guys need to find more ways to use your social proof, and you need to integrate it into your content. And again, even if your videos are only getting one thing, write this down. Social proof content gets the least amount of views, but the most amount of clients. Learned that from my best friend, Brendan. He was a business coach. Gets the least amount of views, but the most amount of clients. A lot of us don't post social proof content because you're like, oh, that video only got 1,000 views compared to my other ones that get 6,000. But that video is significantly more valuable at converting people into paying clients, which is why most people don't post social proof, because they're like, oh, it doesn't get the views that I want. Least amount of views, most amount of clients. Did you guys ever see the video where I was like, I stalked my client Trent Harrison to figure out how I made $100,000? And this is so I did that video where I'm like, I stalked my client Trent Harrison. And then I did another video that was pretty much a similar script, but I was standing in front of a whiteboard and I'm like, this is how my client Trent Harrison made $100,000 a month. And then I did another video where I'm just like talking about, how I help clients hit 100K a month. And then I just mentioned Trent Harrison and then I get into the video. Like, that's different ways of saying the same story. So I'm still using Trent's story over and over and over and over again. I'm just finding different ways to tell that story. When I first started online fitness coaching, there was a guy that I worked with for 6 months one-on-one. And all I would do to promote my business was update social media with his progress photos every week. So literally I had one client, but it was just like every week people could see the transformation. And that's what started getting my first few clients. Then once I got my first few clients, then I started getting more to show. So here's another example of how to use social proof. I try to find creative ways to do it. So what I did is I screenshotted my client that with like this fucking message. He's like, holy fuck, I hit $1 million in 30 days, blah, blah, blah. And then what I did is I showed his first DM when he ever sent me a message. So this is when he first paid me. So this is something you guys can do, right? It's like the first DM your client ever sent you, or like when your client, he's like, I really want to win my next fight. And you screenshot that DM and you put an overlay of him knocking someone the fuck out, right? So I grabbed the first DM. He's like, okay, I'm fucking serious now, brother. I got to get a few things out of the way. Let's make it happen. Time to put it to the next level. So then he signed up and paid on June 29th. And then I show his before. So this was his Instagram before he started working with me. He was making, I forget how much he was making. It was like 30 to 40K a month, something like that. So 20,000 followers when he first signed up. And then I went and I screenshotted his profile now. Now he has 398,000 followers. He actually has like 400 now. And he just hit $1 million a month. And then I did a video of like him doing a testimonial. So now I'm like, it's the same story, right? I could have just posted that screenshot, which a lot of us do, because we're like, oh, here's a screenshot of what my client said. But what if you went back and grabbed the first message that they ever sent you about like, oh, I want to lose weight. And then you showed their before and after of them dropping 20 pounds. And then you show them like a video of them being like, holy fuck, Matt, like I had no idea what this program was going to do for me. You changed my life. And then there's a CT after it. Make sense? So you find a different way of telling the story. You got to be creative with your social proof. So here's how you ask for testimonial videos. Hey, Max, I got a weird question to ask you, but like, do you like working with me as your coach? And if you're a good coach, they'll be like, yeah, of course. I'm like, cool. I was wondering if you wouldn't mind shooting me a quick testimonial video. Doesn't have to be long or professional or anything like that. Just answering 3 main questions. Number 1, biggest hesitations before you join the program. Number 2, results you got working with me. Number 3, would you recommend me to others as your coach? I'd really appreciate that. That would mean a lot. Just ask for a video. Biggest hesitations joining the program. The reason you want to ask that question is because obviously your audience is going to have some hesitations. So if your client's like, well, yeah, I thought you were a scam artist or whatever, then my audience that thinks I'm a scam artist is going to hear that. Then that client's going to overcome that limiting belief for me. What were the specific results that we got working together? And then would you recommend me to others as your coach? Those are the 3 questions I like to ask. I also give my clients, when I'm asking for testimonial videos, very clear and concise directions, because you guys are all on social media and sometimes you guys also get intimidated with videos, correct? You don't know what to post. How do you think your clients feel that never can use Instagram ever? And now you're like, record a video of yourself saying something, right? So you need to give very specific directions. Doesn't have to be long or professional or anything like that. Just 30 to 60 seconds answering these 3 main questions. Number 1, number 2, number 3. It would mean the world to me. Thank you so much. So then your client's not like, oh, I have to go get my hair done and I need to hire a videographer and, just film it like you're talking to your Instagram stories and then send me the video. 30 to 60 seconds. By the way, the 30 to 60 seconds, the reason that I say that is because some people send me like 5-minute testimony videos. I'm like, I can't even use that even if I tried. So you got to give specific directions. Cool. So all these elements combined create undeniable evidence. And when you have undeniable proof that you are who you say you are, then booking calls is easy. And all those video views become more valuable because when you get those video views, they come to your page and they see your content. They see all the clients you're working with. They're like, I want to work with this guy. Cool. Number 4, a growing audience. Who here has a growing audience? Raise your hand. There we go. I like that. Almost everyone in the room. I like that. Cool. If you don't have a growing audience, I'm still going to give you a hack. So even if your audience isn't growing, I got you. Listen, tomorrow, Cole's going to do a deep dive on content, but today I'm going to give you guys a hack to make sure that your audience always grows. Okay? It's really easy to implement. You guys can do it immediately, right after you're done this. It'll take you a little bit of filming, but you're good to go. You can film an ad with Matt tonight. You can film an ad at the gym tomorrow. It's easy. Why is audience growth so important? Because if you don't have a growing audience, you're literally going to be speaking to the same crowd over and over and over and over again. How many of you guys feel like you're doing that sometimes? Same people voting in my CTAs over and over again. That's why nobody's responding, because I'm speaking to the same audience. Now, that being said, I'm going to contradict myself because great marketing is about saying the same thing 100 different ways. So sometimes you put out a CTA that says, I'm looking for 5 men that want to lose 10 pounds in the next 30 days. If that's you, vote here. And sometimes you say something like, I'm looking for 5 men that want to shred up their abs and have a 6-pack before summer so they can take their shirt off at the beach. If that's you, vote here. And sometimes men are going to resonate with that message more than this message, right? And it's the same audience, which is why you need to experiment with the words that you're using, right? For me, I like horror movies. I think they're fucking great. If I'm ever about to watch a movie and there's a horror title, Kirsten is like, I'm going to go read my book. Bye. But sometimes there's words in the title that deceive her into believing that it's not a horror movie, and I can trick her into watching it, but then she gets mad at me because she gets nightmares. But that's what I'm saying. Different words resonate with different people. Does that make sense? Different words resonate with different people. I'm about to put you on some game. It's called follower ads, and they're super easy to set up. So I'm going to give you guys a script. Step number 1, determine who you're speaking to. Step number 2, create a script that's a direct call out. Step number 3, tell them to follow you and watch your content. Step number 4, show some social proof in the video. Step number 5, tell them to follow you again. The reason this is really important, and we're going to break it down in a second, but if you always have new followers coming in, you always have new conversations to start, you never run out of leads. It's great. Now, don't get me wrong. If you have follower ads, but your content sucks donkey, you're not consistent, you're not an established authority, you're not posting social proof, you're not going to sign clients still, which is why it's all 5 of these things. But this is a really important element. You need to have a growing audience. So my script was, if you're a personal trainer that's posting content that gets no views, then you need to follow me right now. I post 6 times a day, 7 days a week, content to help you hit 10K a month in your fitness business. And if you don't believe me, check out what some of my clients had to say. So make sure you give me a follow on Instagram so I can show you how to do the same. Make sense? Cool. I'll show you the reel.
If you're a personal trainer that's posting content that gets no views, then you need to follow me right now. I post 6 times a day, 7 days a week, content to help you hit 10K a month in your fitness business. And if you don't believe me, check out what some of my clients had to say.
And now my business is making $58,000 a month.
We just hit our first 100K month.
My highest income month has been $49,000.
Now I'm making over 50. We have an entire team.
So make sure you give me a follow on Instagram and start watching some of my content so that I can teach you how to do the same.
Boom. Exact same script I gave you guys. This ad is fucking crushing, by the way. It's bringing me in like $3 to $5 a follower, and like 50% of them are personal trainers. Who here has done content mastery? Raise your hand. So you notice how I followed all the structure of content mastery? Changing the scene every 1.5 to 3 seconds. I'm changing up the angles, right? You got to follow, like, now that you guys know how to create good organic content, you got to apply that to ads that you're doing. Not all followers are created equal. So for fitness clients, I've found that you guys can get followers for 50 cents to $1. So it's pretty common for fitness clients to get 50 cents to $1 for a follower. For me, I was going off of that metric and I was going for $1 per followers, and I had an ad that was bringing me in $1 per follower, but it wasn't targeted. And so it was a bunch of, 21-year-old kids, or somebody had this, they were starting drop shipping, or like this other dude was, you know what I mean? So it was like a bunch of random followers. So not all followers are created equal. Like the goal is at 50 cents to $1 per follower, I think. But if you're paying $2 a follower and each one of those followers is your ideal demographic and they're the exact person that you're trying to speak to, I can pay that all day. Right? So 50 cents to $1 per follower. I've seen a lot of successful fitness coaches do that. So this is one example of a follower ad. This is kind of the framework. I'll show you guys a couple ads afterwards of some clients that have similar follower ads, but they tweaked it a little bit. So this is my follower ad. So I'm going to do a tutorial of how to boost a post. So I'm literally going to teach you guys how fucking easy it is right now. We're going to do it together. A couple things to keep in mind. First things first, always do it through your Instagram app on your desktop. The reason you always need to do it through your Instagram app on your desktop is if you do it through your phone, you have to pay an Apple service fee. Second thing is Meta on the back end. So I've got an agency that helps me run my ads, but on the back end, you actually cannot track what your cost per follow is, which is a really big problem. So boosted posts are 100% more valuable to do through Instagram on the front end. Does that make sense? So the way that you boost a post on the front end is very simple. So let's just go to one of my posts as an example. Let's try to let's pretend I wanted to boost this one. I say in this video, so I'm not allowed to boost this one. So you can't swear in your ads. I would stay away from the word fat loss. Fat loss. you can't put income claims. You can do like, you want to sign 3 to 5 clients a week, or you want to be able to create your own business, stuff like that. But you have to basically like dance around the specific word. So for you guys, you can't say like, if you want to burn 5 to 10 pounds of fat, but you can say, if you want to tone up and look and feel your best. Does that make sense? So you basically have to dance around. So boosting posts, it's really simple, okay? I want everyone to get a boosted post going today. So we obviously have the follower ad, okay? Another thing you guys can do is take one of your best performing posts on Instagram that has already performed well and brought you in followers and boost that. So I want everyone to do this today. Clear? So you guys gotta remember, like when you're posting organic content, it's good to go wide. When you're doing ads, it's bad to go wide because your ads are gonna get shown to a wide number of people, okay? Your goal with your ads is to turn that wide number of people into followers, which is why you need to be very specific with your callouts. If you are a personal trainer that's looking to grow your business and sign 10 clients, this is the ad that you need to see. If you're a fighter that wants to win your next fight and you're sick of getting gassed, this video is for you. So you're specific with your callouts. Okay, so visit your profile. Now, when you click on this preview ad, this is automatically going to be turned on for Facebook. I would recommend turning it off and just having Instagram only placement, unless you have a lot of attention on your Facebook profile, or you have somebody to manage your Facebook profile inbox. Otherwise, you're just gonna be burning through money on ads, because I personally don't generate leads on Facebook, so I just turned it off. And my entire team's on Instagram, so I send it to Facebook. Okay, so let's get into, visit your profile, visit your website. No, I also wouldn't do message. The goal for this specific campaign is we just wanna get followers, so it's visit your profile. Then what you wanna do is, I would recommend against doing a suggested audience unless your audience is almost all your demographic. So for Dana, for you, suggested audience is probably gonna be good because Instagram is gonna target people that are like your followers. So I think you could get away with it. Unless your audience is really, really niche and really, really dialed in, I would avoid doing this. So for me, I've got a lot of people that follow me that are personal trainers, but I also have a lot of people that follow me that are like, I just started my business, or I have a drop shipping company, or blah, blah, blah. So when I did this, I was getting really cheap followers, but it was like 1 in every 30 was a personal trainer because my audience is big and it's not super niche. Does that make sense? So the difference between the front and the back end of Meta, the back end of Meta, in my opinion, is more confusing, and it's more for like direct to DM ads, which we teach in the Million Dollar Mastermind too. But the boosted post is like an easy button that all of you can do today to make more money and get more followers. So that's why I want to show you guys the boosted stuff, because it's the easy button. Suggested audience would work for somebody like you, Dana, because you're like the rave audience. But if you have a bigger audience or you have a smaller audience, I don't think you should do suggested. I think you should choose your audience. So to choose your audience, you click create your own, turn off Advantage Plus. I'm not a big fan of Advantage Plus. I used it and I was getting dog leads. And we're just gonna name your audience. So food restriction avatar. So for locations, we're gonna go USA, Canada, Australia. I have a lot of clients in Australia too. Cool, done. So that's it. We're just gonna choose our locations. We're gonna save. So interests. So this is where you guys have to get creative, and like, here's how I think about it. So like I work with personal trainers, right? And so I was going really broad. You can go really broad and you can also go really specific, and I'll give you different examples. So I work with personal trainers. So what is something that every personal trainer is interested in for sure? Thank you, fitness, right? So my first targeting was fitness. But the problem with targeting fitness is who else is interested in fitness? Anybody that goes to the gym, right? So like fitness was too broad because it's anybody that goes to the gym. So I needed to get more specific. So I'm like, okay, what's a little bit more specific? Like besides fitness, like fitness is generic. So it can include yoga, biking, spinning, swimming, whatever. A little bit more specific than fitness is gym, right? Gym's a little bit more specific to personal trainers. So then I started targeting gyms. It was like Gold's Gym and Good Life Fitness. It was blah, 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 blah. But again, it was bringing in a bunch of people that just like going to the gym, not necessarily fitness people. So certifications. So then I searched NASM, ISSA, Precision Nutrition, all the things that I know PTs have to study in order to get certified. Because if they're getting certified, what do they want to do? Build a business. So that was my targeting. Does that make sense? So that's how we need to think about your audience. So Matt, what are some things that your audience is interested in? Okay, confidence is a generic, and that's not a targeting we can choose. So give me something else. What would be something they'd be interested in? What would they be watching on social media? Oh, MyFitnessPal. There we go. Now we're thinking. MyFitnessPal. MyFitnessPal. Boom. Done. There you go. Bam. What else? Recipes. P90X. That's actually smart. Boom. There we go. Gut health. Weight Watchers is fucking smart as well. Keto. Anything else? Like, tell me, like, where does she shop? Okay, boom. Thank you. Who said Sephora? That's fucking smart. There we go. Now we're thinking. Sephora. Boom. Lululemon. Now we're thinking. Does this make sense? So now this is good. So when we're experimenting with audiences, there's a bunch of different targets. As you guys can see, there's a float here, right? I try to find 3 to 5 interests. I don't like going any more than that because then I don't know which one it is. I usually go for 3. So mine is like Precision Nutrition, ISSA, NASM. So I would find 3. And then I would look at this list, Matt, and I'd be like, okay, out of this list, which ones do you think would resonate the most for your avatar? MyFitnessPal, P90X, Ketone, Sephora, Lululemon. MyFitnessPal resonates for sure. What else? Cool. Okay, there you go. So now we're gonna save that. So that's your targeting. Then you have to go down here. So we've got the location, we got MyFitnessPal, we have to go age. So ideal client age. Okay, so 25. And then max age, 45, perfect. And now that gives us a different audience size. This is a good audience size. So I'd say like 5 to 10 million is a good audience size. This is gonna get a little bit more expensive for per follower, I will tell you that, but this will usually be a lot more qualified, in my opinion. If you do have a bigger audience size, like let's say you go up and this number is like, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 million, it'll be cheaper per follower, which could be a good thing if your ad is really good. Like if your ad is a really specific call out, then the algorithm will start to show your ad to those people. But it also could be a bad thing and you can get some really low quality leads. In my opinion, this is a really effective strategy. And then do you work with males and females? Okay, perfect, then save, bam. So I want you guys to write this down. This is really important. All marketing is guessing. Anybody that tells you otherwise is a fucking idiot. It's just a guess. So I'm giving you my best educated guess. And then what's gonna happen is we pay attention to the data and the feedback. So once we got all this targeting, boom, I've got my targeting. I'm making sure that I chose the right audience. Where is it? Oh, it's right here. Food restriction avatar, bam. So it's right here. Then I would just go, so budget per day. This is gonna be another question that you guys have. How much do you spend per day? Most of the people in this room, you guys are making $5,000 to $10,000, $15,000 a month. I would start out at $20 a day, and then I would pay attention to the analytics. I would say you're looking for $1 to $3 per follower on average. If you get anything that's less than $1 per follower and they're bringing in ideal clients, spend more money. Doug Clark has a video on his page. I'll show you guys in a sec. He's got a video on his page. He's bringing 50 cents a follower, and every single follower that comes in is his ideal client. He's like, how much should I spend? I was like, all of your money. All of it. Because if you spend all your money and you you spend $1,000, you get 2,000 followers. Out of 2,000 followers, how many sales calls are you gonna book out of 2,000 followers if you start a conversation with every single one of them? 100? If 50% of them show up, 50 clients show up and you close at 50%, you sell 25 new clients. It costs you what, $1,000 to sell 25 new clients. Your program's $1,000, you made 25 grand, bam. I was like, spend all your money. But you wanna start with $20 a day. So you're gonna do $20 a day, and then you just run this ad until I pause it, boost reel, bam, done. It's that easy. Really simple. So I'll show you guys a couple examples of boosted reels that are doing really well right now. With boosted reels, you have to post it to your page and then boost it. I experiment. So Dana, your question, do we run more than one boosted reel at once? When you're first getting started, I'd probably run one, just so you can get a feel for it. And then I'll show you how to read the insights in a second. But then as you get more advanced, what you'll see is like, if I go to my notifications, on my notifications tab, what it'll do is it'll say, so these people started following me from my ad. So I'm gonna click this ad, which ad was in. On your phone, it will take you to the ad that they followed you from. So then I'd go and see which ad that was. And then I'd see how much I'm getting per follower for the ad. And then I'd see out of the last 10 people that follow me from that ad, how many are my ideal clients. And then I determine, okay, how much am I actually paying for a qualified follower to follow me? Does that make sense? So again, the script that I gave you guys is really effective for a follower ads script. That's the one I'm using for that video that's crushing. But there's a bunch of different ways to do follower ads. So this is Doug's example of a follower ad. Check this out. So all it is, my name is Doug. When my mom passed away at 57, I quit my engineering job and made it my mission in life to help busy moms lose weight and prioritize their health and fitness, so their kids don't have to feel this pain. My mission is deeply personal, more in the caption. So he boosted that reel. That reel is getting him 50 cents a follower, and every single person that follows him from that reel is a busy mom. He also just hit $40,000 last month because me and Cole were like, spend all your fucking money on that ad, right? Does that make sense? Unlimited leads, once you figure this out. If you're gonna boost proof reels, I would try to do it in a way that tells a story. So
Personal trainer that's posting content that gets no views, then you need to follow me right now. I post 6 times a day, 7 days a week, content to help you hit 10K a month in your fitness business. And if you don't believe me, check out what some of my clients had to say.
And now my business is...
So like, I think it's better to boost a reel if you are introducing the proof rather than just the video itself of the proof, if that makes sense. So like, let's say you posted a testimonial video and it was like your client Sarah saying that she lost 20 pounds, and then you boost that reel. When you're boosting that reel, you're putting Sarah's face in front of random traffic, but people have no idea who Sarah is. So that doesn't actually build your personal brand, and they're not likely to trust you because of a random video that they just found. Whereas if you were like, my client John is in the best shape of his life, this is his transformation, and this is how we did it. People are gonna be more likely to respond to that. Or like, my client John toned up and got this result in this time, let's hear what he had to say. That's gonna do better than just the video itself. Okay, so I'll teach you guys how to read insights, then we'll take a quick break. Once you have boosted posts, then you can go to the dashboard. Once you're on your dashboard, you guys will see insights and ad tools. So insights, it'll say content and account. So as you guys can see, I have a bunch of boosted posts going right now. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I've got a bunch that me and Nick just filmed that I'm about to post to you. So this is an example of like dollar per follower. So once you see, I'm just gonna click on this one right here. It says runs until paused. I just have $100 a day going on this ad.
Okay, guess right, and I'll give you $100. Okay.
So this ad, I've spent $619. It's got me 254 followers. So it's about $3 a follower, but it's personal trainers narrow targeting. So it's like ISSA, NASM, and Precision Nutrition. when I had really broad targeting, so this is why dollar per follower is relevant, but it isn't, because if you're getting cheap followers, but they're not your ideal clients, it's kind of a waste of time, right? Does that make sense? When I had really broad targeting and it was just like fitness gym, I was getting like 50 cents a follower, but it was like kid that lived in his mom's basement and drop shipper. And I just started my sales business, blah, 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 blah. So now I'm getting more quality followers, but it's a little bit more expensive, but they're more quality. So this is how you read the insights on here. It'll tell you how many views you got from this ad. It'll tell you how many profile visits you got, how many followers you got, and how many messaging conversations got started because of this ad. So you can just see all this stuff. So again, for you guys, the metric that you're looking for is cost per follow. I would try to find the $1 to $3 range for you guys. If you find anything less than $1 per follower and it's your ideal client, fucking run it. This ad is crushing for me right now. It's 64 followers at $215. So it's about $3.50 a follower. And I would say 50 to 60% of the people that are following me from this ad are personal trainers. So this ad is crushing. Sweet. So rules of boosting posts: start broad audience, be specific with your call out. So that's one thing you guys can experiment with, is a broad audience, but specific with your call out. So for you, Kenny, it would be like fitness, Gold's Gym, working out, exercising. And then your specific call out would be like, if you're a fighter that wants to win his next fight, if you're a fighter that's tired of getting gassed and you want to win your next fight, then you need to follow me right now. So it's broad targeting, but specific call out. So that's one thing you guys can experiment with. Another thing you can experiment with is narrow down audience and be specific with your call out. So whether you're going to do a broad audience or a narrow audience, 100% be specific with your call out. That's really important. So I would start with a $20 a day budget. Once you have a $20 a day budget, I would let it run for 3 to 5 days. Once you run it for 3 to 5 days and you find something that's really effective, then increase the ad spend if it's working. You're looking for $1 to $3 per follower. That's an ideal client. Once you have those numbers, you can scale to $50 a day. Let's do the math. So it's $50 a day to get 50 new conversations. So it's $1,500 per month. That's 1,500 new conversations per month that you're starting. 1,500 new people seeing your content. Even if 1% of those people book a call, that's 15 people. 15 book calls, let's say 12 show up. Your close rate sucks ass, so it's only 30%. But even with a close rate that sucks ass, you sign 4 new clients. Your program is $997, so you spent $1,500 and made back $3,900. Make sense? Easy. Once you guys understand this and you just implement these things that I'm telling you guys, it's easy. You've got clients in the mastermind that are spending 30 grand a month on ads, but they're making 200K a month because they found an ad that worked. They doubled down. Because every dollar that they put in, they're getting $4 back. They just. And then the only problem becomes like, how do I scale this team and build the system so that my business doesn't break? With all these combined knowledge you just gain, you will never run out of leads. Cool. I'll tell you guys another rule of boosted posts once we play this.
For 3 full-time office workers that want to grow the glutes.
Specific call out right away. I'm looking for 3 full-time office workers that want to blah, blah, blah. So specific call out.
Get in shape, just like the ladies here.
When you're putting before and afters in your testimonial videos, crop out the afters. You don't put the before and after right next to each other. Facebook's like, that's a no-fly zone. I've seen a lot of accounts get restricted because of that, but he just puts the afters. So if you want to get results like this, right, you need to show the afters. I'll replay this and then we'll just watch the whole thing, then I'll explain it.
For 3 full-time office workers that want to grow the glutes, tone up and get in shape, just ladies here. If you want to do this without restricted dieting, drop a fire emoji below and I'll send you the details.
The ideal scenario is that you say, make sure you're following me and drop a fire emoji, because if you don't say, make sure you're following me, you get a bunch of people DM me comment fire emojis and you're not able to message them because they're not following you, right? So ideal scenario is make sure you're following me and comment keyword. Now, I did write the perfect DM script for you guys and I'm going to give it to you, but I need you guys to understand the laws of DMs, okay? There's laws. And if you guys follow these laws, you'll be ninja. You won't have a problem booking calls. Play by these laws and you'll be an unstoppable force of nature and you'll turn interested prospects into booked calls in your calendar. So, law number 1, not all leads are created equal. Take a picture of that. So, this is the level of intent to purchase chart that I created in my smart brain of mine. So there's different levels of intent to purchase, okay? So, I'm gonna go over here. 1 out of 10, intent to purchase. What does intent to purchase mean? Their intention to buy, okay? So if somebody has never interacted with your profile ever, how much intention do they have to purchase your program? 0, well, like 1. So we did a 1, because I don't have a 0 on my scale, because I'm the boss and I make my own rules. So if somebody's never interacted with your profile, never seen your content ever, they have like a 0 out of 10 intent to purchase, 1 out of 10 to purchase, which is why most people struggle to grow on social media, because they're like, oh, I'm going to hashtags and Facebook groups and blah, blah, blah. They have a 1 out of 10 intent to purchase. You basically have to take 1,000 shots to maybe find 5, 10, 15 people. 2 out of 10 intent to purchase is somebody that does not follow you but watches your content, right? We have people like that. When a reel goes viral and they don't follow us, but they see the reel, right? So again, not all leads are created equal, because this person might be interacting with your content. Maybe they like your video, so you shoot them a DM and you're like, hey, thanks so much for engaging my content, but they're not even following you. So if they're not following you, how likely are they to purchase your stuff? Not likely. They're still watching your content, so there's a little bit of intent there because they could have just blocked you or said, not engaged, whatever. 4 to 10 intent to purchase is recent followers or new Facebook group leads for any of you guys that use Facebook groups. Now, this is important to note because I think that a lot of you guys treat all leads equally, and I think that's a mistake. A lot of people also, like when they're sending new messages to new followers, blah, 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 they're like, well, I'm not getting a lot of people respond. Yeah, it's because they don't really have a lot of intent to purchase. Obviously, they saw your content on social media and they're like, oh, this dude's interesting enough to follow. But just because you're interesting enough to follow doesn't mean you're interesting enough to buy from, right? You also have to have the other 4 elements of, and it's like what you need to have in the DMs. Established authority, you need to have undeniable proof. You understand what I'm saying? If you have all those 5 elements and they follow you, they're a lot more likely to purchase. A 6 out of 10 intent to purchase is somebody who is engaging on your content and following you. These are warm leads. Somebody that's liking your reels, commenting on your reels, watching your stories, voting on your polls. This is somebody that's, they have a larger intent to purchase. So this person should be treated as a warm lead. These ones need to be treated as cold leads. Cold leads are treated differently than warm leads. Somebody tell me why. Ding. What happens if you don't warm them up first? What if they do bite and they book a call? What are they likely to do? No show. What else are they likely to do? Not fucking buy. What else are they likely to do? Block your ass, right? You might be able to take them through the DM script, but if you don't warm the lead up properly, just because they book a call doesn't mean they're going to show up with you. They're probably booking a call to get your ass off their ass. You know what I'm saying? These are people we treat as warm leads. These are people we treat as cold leads. Warm leads and cold leads get treated differently. So 7 to 10 inbound lead, just because they inbound doesn't mean they're ready to buy, which is why they're a 7. But they showed intent that they want to purchase, which now you can treat that conversation as if they want to buy, not assuming that they're going to purchase. So 8 out of 10 intent to purchase is an application. So these are warm leads. And these are hot leads. Okay? Does that make sense? Hot leads, warm leads, cold leads. The reason this is important is because you need to treat these differently than these. Okay, so this is what most people do, right? Most people get a client application. They get somebody reach out with their client application. Then they send them a message and they run them through the exact same DM script that they run everybody else through. Why the fuck does that make sense? Isn't the purpose of getting to the DM script to get them to the application? But they already filled out the application. It's book and call, exactly. So what you do in that instance, and this is why you guys need to understand the difference between hot leads, warm leads, and cold leads, because not all leads are created equally. So if somebody fills in an application, it's really simple. You send them a message. You're like, yo, Sergio, what's up, bro? Just got your application for the Change Lives Academy. I saw that you've been trying to build this business for the last 3 years. Tell me a little bit about your story. What got you into, wanting to be a coach? Sergio replies. As soon as he replies, I send a voice note. Awesome, my man. I love it. Well, next step is to get you booked in for a free 15-minute call. We'll talk about your number one struggle, your number one goal, and we'll help you come up with a game plan to achieve your goals. Send the voice note, send the calendar link. Go ahead and book in now, brother. Spots always fill up quick. Send me a screenshot. Let me know time you pick. Cool? Question mark? Bam. Done. Make sense? So you got to treat leads differently based on the level that they're at. Somebody's a referral. Again, treat it a little bit differently. The reason it should be treated a little bit differerently is because your client is going to vouch for you. So you already know they're pre-sold. With referrals, what I like to do, if you guys aren't getting referrals, by the way, get referrals. Here's how. Okay, here's how you get referrals. Send a message out to all of your clients, and this is, this is basically the context of what you want to say. Hey, what's going on, fam? So I love working with you, and I'd love to work with more clients like you. So if you have any friends, family members, or coworkers that would like to join the program, if they join the coaching program, I will give you 4 weeks for free in your coaching program. If you're interested in referring any of your friends and family, all you got to do is start a group chat with me on Facebook or Instagram with that person, and I will get them all set up. I hope you have the best day of your entire life. Send that message out once a month. Inbound love letters. This is somebody that literally sends you a message. It's like, oh my God, Rochelle, I watch all your content. I've been following you forever. I'm really interested. I really want to sign up. I'm a single mom, blah, 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 blah. Bam. That's not somebody you should run through a DM script. You're like, cool, mind if I ask a couple of questions to see if I can help? I already told you my story, That person is like, hey, thanks so much for reaching out. I appreciate you. I'm going to take good care of you. Just a quick question before we get started. I just wanted to know, what made you decide to, what got you really interested in this? Why are you here? They'll tell you a reason. You're like, bam, cool. Next step is to get you set up on a quick 10 to 15-minute call. We'll talk about your number one struggle, and then we'll go blah, 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 blah. Make sense? Not all leads are created equally, so make sure you guys treat leads differently. Okay, cool. Law number 2, whoever talks the most loses. This refers to the relationship that you have with your audience in the DMs. Who needs who more? Let's look beneath the surface. So here's a bad example. I actually yelled at my team for this. When you're looking at who needs who more, you guys can do this with your DMs immediately after this. It's really easy, okay? All you got to do, don't read the messages, just hold your phone back and see who's sending longer messages, you or your prospects. Simple. Whoever talks the most loses. And so if you're the one doing most of the talking in the DMs and you're the one sending big ass bubbles and your prospect is sending tiny little bubbles, what does that sub-communicate? Needy. I need you more than you need me, right? You guys ever date when you were younger, right? You date when you're younger and you know if someone really likes you when they send you messages like this and you're like, oh, look, I got myself in deep here, right? So when we're communicating with prospects, we need to make sure that we sub-communicate, I don't need you. I'm glad you're here, but I don't need you. Make sense? So this is a bad example. I ended up booking this call still, but so, hey, Tiana, thanks for the follow. I see you're a coach. What are you enjoying the content of the sales more? He's trying to figure everything out. So look at the length of my response versus the length of her response next. Got you, fam. I wasn't a salesperson. Once you master the craft, where are you based at? So again, this was my team, but still. So she gave me a 2-word response. I gave her 4 paragraphs. See that? Subtext. Who needs who more than who needs who? I need you more than you need me. When the prospect feels that, they bounce. And I'll show you. So she's like, I'm still brand new to this, trying to learn the ropes, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, cool, with the right blueprint, I'm sure you'll be killing it. How long have you been a certified personal trainer for? So again, she just says, since last summer, 3 words. And then I send 3 paragraphs. So notice, as soon as I send 3 paragraphs, she stops responding. Sub-communicating that I need you more than you need me. And as soon as they feel that, they go. So again, after this, you guys can literally look at your DMs, last 10 DMs with prospects and just fucking look. And you will see really fast. And so I'll give you a specific thing that you guys can do, okay? This is how I practice getting better at this. This is a skill. Write out what you want to say and then say to yourself, how do I say the same thing with less words? That's it. So write out what you want to say and how do I say the same thing with less words? So like here, I'm like, with the right blueprint, I'm sure you'll be killing it. How long have you been certified for? She's like, since last summer. And then we said, boom, lots of knowledge under your belt already. I was checking your profile. It's awesome, good stuff, especially your workout songs. Haha, tell me about you. What's your story? What decided to become a coach? Yeah, she laughed and didn't respond because I can suck. So I could have just said, that's dope, send. Instead of saying, boom, tons of knowledge under your belt already. I could have just said, that's dope, send. And then say, what made you decide to become a coach? Question mark. Same thing, but significantly less words. So that's a bad example. I'll show you guys a good example. So there's a good example. So consistency is key, bro. How's your Wednesday going? Blah, blah, blah. Something I'm working towards myself. Cool, with the right strategy. I'm sure you'll crush it. Where are you based at, brother? So notice when I keep my short, again, I'm telling my team, I'm like, you guys need to shorten your shit because I was looking for good examples and I couldn't find a lot. So I told my team, I'm like, we need to get better at this, bro. Okay, I told Miguel, I'm like, fix it. Anyways, I found some decent ones. But notice how when I keep my stuff super short, how he opens up more. When the prospect is opening up more than you, that means that they are more interested in you than you are them, which is a good thing. So then that gave us permission to open up a little bit more. But still, even with us opening up a little bit more, notice how he still said more than we did. Make sense? So again, just because they send you a love letter doesn't mean you need to send a love letter back. Because if you send a love letter back, what does that sub-communicate? I got lots of spare time on my hands. I'm not busy with a lot of clients. I got all the time in the world to get back to you, bruh. We got to sub-communicate like, hey, I'm glad you're here, but I don't need to be in this conversation. Write this down. Mirror their length of response. Mirror their length of response or keep it shorter. You sub-communicate to the prospect that you do not need them, which will make the prospect feel attracted to you. Right? It's the same thing in dating. In dating, you send the girl you like, for the guys here, you send the girl you like a message that looks like this, and she says, good morning, or okay. You're like, bang, bang, bang. Okay, so again, notice how my length of response is shorter than his. The only time it's a little bit longer is when I send social proof. I'm gonna show you guys how to do that. Cool. Tell you what, why don't we do this? Let's book a call. He's like, yep, sounds good. Let's book a call. Perfect. Boom, boom. Call booked, pre-call video done, training done, call booked, everything's good to go. Cool. So how to execute on this? Always say equal to or less than the prospect. Always say equal to or less than the prospect. My goal is that you never want your messages to be longer than the prospects. Sometimes you have to, like when you're doing like a calendar booking invitation, like tell you what, why don't we do this, blah, blah, blah. So there's certain instances where you have to, but for the most part, it's like Pareto's principle. You guys all know Pareto's principle, the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time you want to be sending less messages than your prospect. 20% of the time you can break the rules if you need to, but like 80% of the time send less messages. Even if you're going to send a long paragraph, it's way better to send them as like multiple texts because then it looks like you're organically chatting versus copying and pasting a bunch of it. Make sense? This sub-communicates to the prospect that you do not need them. And when you sub-communicate to your prospects that you don't need them, they'll be more drawn to you. Cool. Law number 3, validate, relate, and lean in. Validate, relate, and lean in. Most of you guys go through your DM script and you're just, next question, next question. You're like, what's their biggest struggle in your fitness journey? And they're like, I've struggled with an eating disorder my whole life and I've really like trying to overcome it. And you're like, cool, what's your fitness goal? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck, dude? I got to hear the prospect. So I'll show you guys some examples. So validate, relate, lean in. The prospect says, amazing, bro. I'm glad you got together. I'm so hard. It was worth it. As far as promoting my posting content, in March, my mother passed away suddenly at 57. Kind of threw me off my game, getting back into it now. My landing page is going to be live this week. Validate. Sorry to hear about your mother. Relate. I can't even imagine what that's like and what you've been going through, bro, but glad you're getting back into the grind. Lean in. Mind if I ask a couple of questions, see if I can help? And then he's like, thank you, bro. And of course, sorry for the late reply. Bam. Most people would have just been like, oh, that's tough, bro. Mind if I ask a couple of questions, see if I can help? Sub-communicates to the prospect. Again, validate, relate, lean in. So the prospect says, I hired a personal trainer for myself 11 years ago. It changed my life. It's helped me in so many ways. Now I want to help others. I love empowering people to be stronger physically, mentally, and emotionally. I'm like, we can all use help. Validate, relate. Being able to use your transformation is awesome. Being able to use your transformation to empower people and help them become a better, stronger career is awesome. Lean in. How many clients are you serving already? Get it? Now it feels like a conversation. Validate, relate, lean in. Validate, relate, lean in. Validate means you're recognizing what they're saying. Relating means that you're like relating or understanding or having compassion for what they're saying. Leaning in is asking the next question. Law number 4, I feel like this is a cheat code, but I'm going to give it to you anyways. Okay? It's a cheat code. This is called stroke, ego, poke, bear. Stroke, ego, poke, bear. Okay? That's what we're calling this. This one's actually an actual cheat code, and it's done very subtly, but when you do it right, it's very, very, very effective. Basically, what you want to do is act subtly unimpressed. You know, like that hot girl or guy in high school that was always just not impressed, but we were so fascinated about it, and we just like wanted their approval. Anybody know? That was you? You were the hot guy? That's my fucking boy, Dad Bod Steve. That's my fucking boy. I want to impress you. I want to fucking impress you, bro. Okay? Okay, stroke, ego, poke, bear. This is what I mean by this. Doing this in the DMs is an actual ninja trick. You just need to be subtle about it. You need to be a little bit sneaky, all right? Okay, so poke, bear. This client, actually the same conversation. It's honestly just a few of us in Madison. It's not big at all. I'm definitely trying to change up the scene. I know Canada is plentiful for fitness. And then I say, well, it's up to us to make an impact on our scene, bro. Canada's a great place, though. How long have you been a personal trainer for? See that? He was like, yeah, I'm trying to change the scene because, it's not really that poppin'. I'm like, well, it's up to you to make it poppin'. And then I just move on. Get it? Very subtly, though. It's not like I'm like, oh, you suck, bro. But I'm like, well, it's up to you to change the scene, homie. And then I just move on and ask the next question. So poke, bear, ding. And then I just move on to the next question. Stroke, ego. So this is a guy that was in my audience, and he's got like 10,000 followers. So he's like, yeah, whenever I use your tips, it gives me an insane value as a PT creator. Giving that to my clients would be great. Having access to your old fitness video would help me a lot. I'm like, bro, you're sitting on a gold mine with that audience. With the right tools and strategies, I'm sure you'll crush it. Mind if I ask a couple of questions, see if I can help? Get it? Stroking his ego. Man, you'd fucking crush it, bro. Damn. You're only making 2K a month? You got 10,000 followers? What do you mean you're only making 2K a month? That's crazy, bro. When I went to your profile, I thought you'd be making 10 for sure. Get it? Okay, so here's an example of poke the bear. So, poke ego. How long have you been struggling to lose the weight? 2 years. 2 years. Damn, that's a long time. Next question. Get it? So like, one of my things that I tell my VAs is you never validate, relate, lean in, but you never want to validate them for something that they're fucking up on. That's a rule. So if they're like, yeah, I've been like trying my best. I've been like, doing keto and 6 workouts a week and doing 2 hours of cardio a day. You're like, oh, that's totally cool, bro. No, it's fucking not. That's stupid. Like, you work out 6 days a week and you don't eat any carbs. That's insane. Next question. Because then they're like, wait, what the f-? What do you mean? Right? So this is like, you got to do it subtly. If you do it in a way that's abrasive, you're a dick, right? Like if somebody's like 10,000 followers and he's making 2K a month, and I'm like, bro, you're only making 2K a month. That's pathetic. You're right? Right? So like that is dead, right? Whereas I'm like, 2K a month? Bro, I thought you'd be making 10. You've got a crazy amount of potential. Get it? It's subtle. You got to be subtle about it. Don't be a dick, but you got to poke the bear. Example of stroke ego for you guys. What's your number one fitness goal right now? I want to lose 20 pounds and I want to see my first, like Dana. I want to lose 20 pounds and I want to be like, I want to look good in a bikini at a rave. Like, girl, you look incredible and you've got a great shape. And I know for a fact you look like a rock star with tone abs. That's stroking the ego, right? So when I get somebody that has a big following on social media, like I've got 100,000 followers, I'm like, dude, you got 100,000 followers and you're only making $2,000 a month? I've got clients with 10,000 followers making 20K. You're going to be rich as fuck. Let's go. Get it? You guys understand what I'm saying? So sometimes you poke the bear, sometimes you stroke the ego, depending on the situation. The situation is pain-related questions, poke the bear, goal-related questions, stroke the ego. It's also very effective to do on sales calls. I've had situations where like dudes are like about to join the program and they're like on the fence, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just not sure. I'm like, dude, can I be honest with you, Mina? It fucking pisses me off that you have 5,000 followers and you're only making $2,000 a month. I'm mad for you, bro. I'm mad for you. You should be making $10,000 a month. You've got a good following, you've got a great physique, you're on top of your there's no fucking reason you shouldn't be making $10,000 a month. Get it? Stroking the ego, right? Stroking the ego. Cool. All right, with all of that in mind, let's get into the perfect DM script. Now, I'm gonna give this to you guys all, but I just wanna kind of walk through it with you so you have a good understanding of it. So the 4 things that you're looking for in the DMs: a clearly defined problem, how long they've been struggling with it, a clearly defined goal, a reason why, and a willingness to accept external guidance. So I put this here for you guys to remember. So mirror their pain/goals back to them. Stroke ego, poke bear. So questions you can use to warm up: what's your story? What got you into fitness? What made you decide to reach out to me? What inspired you to start your fitness journey? When did you realize being healthy was important for you? What made you decide to follow me? What about my content do you resonate with the most? Questions you can ask to test commitment levels: how would your life change if you lost the weight? On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is this to you? Are you willing to take action? Or are you okay staying in the same place? What do you mean by that? Explain. I do stuff like this, like to elaborate on that. If they give me like 1 word answers, I'm like, lose weight. I'm like, what do you mean by that? How much weight do you want to lose? Like, I want to lose 20 pounds. I'm like, why is that important to you? And I'll play that back and forth game, because when you have, who's ever here been in the DMs with a prospect where they're giving you 1 or 2 word answers? Doesn't go anywhere, right? So I'll just play that back and forth game with them until they open up. And then when they open up, then I'll go for the call. Make sense? Or they stop responding. But if they stop responding, what are they? Cold lead. Are they gonna buy anything? Probably not. So if I can't get them to open up in the DMs, they're probably not gonna buy anything. So remember, be short and direct with your responses, overcome their objections before we get to the price, ideally. So if there's any objections that they have, like if they're like, oh yeah, I'm a 7 out of 10 committed, lean out when the prospects are leaning out. So again, be like the uninterested person. So if they are sending you shorter responses, you wanna shorten up your responses. Because if they're sending you shorter responses, but you send longer responses, you're sub-communicating that you need them more. And reply to their pains and goals in the DMs and use their words against them. I don't like that language. Mirror their pain and goals back to them. That language feels better for me. Okay, so DM script for outbound leads, very simple. First name, last name, thanks for the follow. Are you on a fitness journey right now or just enjoying the content? So again, all leads are not created equal. So if they're just enjoying the content, you're like, cool, where are you from, by the way? So what you wanna do is you wanna gauge the temperature of the lead. If they're short and non-responsive, you want to continue to ask questions, see if we can get them to open up, like we just talked about. That's great. I'm from Kelowna. The weather's great out here. Do you have any fitness goals you're working on at the moment? And then by this point, if the prospect has not opened up, I want you guys to lean out. So if you keep trying to DM script this person that's sending you 1 or 2 word answers, you're not going to get anywhere. So at this point, what I like to do is lean out and offer value. Hey, by the way, I've got this free training. If you guys have a podcast, by the way, I do have a podcast for all my fitness coaches. Have you ever checked it out? They're like, no, what's the podcast? Bam, send the podcast. Now I've got somebody that's a cold lead. They start consuming my podcast. They come back 2 days later, like, holy, that's dope. Right? Now, if they respond, they're on a fitness journey. I love it. You working towards any sort of fitness goals at the moment? They're going to respond. So tell me a little bit about you. What's your story and what got you into fitness? Who asked that question in the DMs? Raise your hand. Bro, that question's a gold mine. What's your story? What got you into fitness? Tell me a little bit about you. What's your story? What got you into fitness? They respond. Usually this question is the question that will get them to open up and start sharing more about their fitness journey. If it does, that's when you can transition to mind if I ask a couple of questions, see if I can help. I also wrote you guys a DM process for inbound leads. So if somebody sends you a DM that says fat loss, hey fam, thanks for inquiring about coaching. Are you currently on a fitness journey right now or just looking to get one started? I love it. Tell me a little bit about yourself. What's the story? What made you decide to get into fitness? And then you can go right into the DM script because they are an inbound lead. So you don't have to say, mind if I ask a couple of questions to see if I can help? Make sense? Okay, you guys following so far? Okay. I also did a DM process for ads. I love it. Really appreciate you reaching out. Are you cool if I ask a couple of questions to see if I can help you or not? See if it makes sense for you to do coaching with me. The thing with ads is when people send you DMs from ads, even though they're colder leads, you can't spend a lot of time trying to get them to open up because they already don't like you because they're a complete stranger. If you try to dance around, you're like, tell me a little bit about you. Where are you from? Like, what's your, it just doesn't work with ads. It's not effective. You want to kind of get straight to the point while also trying to follow the laws of the DMs. Does that make sense? Because they don't know you. So, if a follower DMs you, you have a little bit more leeway in getting to know them, but the ad people don't know you. Cool. You have a fitness journey right now, just looking to get one started. Bam. Now, this is the DM script past. Mind if I ask a couple of questions, see if I can help? So what's your biggest struggle in your fitness journey? Nutrition, workouts, or something more? Whatever they say, mirror their struggle and the time back to them. Oh, 2 years? Damn, that's a long time. Okay. What's your number 1 fitness goal right now? Are you looking to lose the weight, tone up, or something else? They'll respond. That's a great goal, super doable. Who here sends social proof in the DMs? Raise your hand. All you guys should send social proof in the DMs. Ninja trick, okay? That's a great goal that's super doable. Send a picture of your best client. This is the type of results you can expect if you're coachable. Why is that important to you? And then they'll reply. And then in the next 60 to 90 days, what are the top 2 to 3 results that you want in your fitness journey? They're going to tell you what they need. Perfect. Do you want some help? They're going to say, yeah, sure. Cool, let's do this. Let's hop in a quick 15 to 30 minute chat. We'll go over your number 1 struggle in your fitness journey, your main goal, and we'll help you come up with a game plan to help you get there. You up for that? They say yes. Cool, let me go grab my calendar link. 1 sec. You're going to send your calendar. Go ahead and book it now. Spots always fill up quick. Send me a screenshot once you're on time and let me know what time you pick. Cool. The reason you do it like this, some people don't follow this for some reason. The reason I use this specific language is you have to imagine that your prospect is a 3-year-old that doesn't understand how to use social media and they need to be told exactly what to do. Because if you're just like, here's a calendar link, go ahead and book. When are they going to do it? I don't know. Maybe never. when they feel like it, I'm gonna tell them exactly what to do, and then I'm gonna give them the next instruction. Just like when you sign a client, okay, now that we got you all set up, next step is I'm gonna send you the onboarding questionnaire. I need you to fill it out, get it back to me within 24 hours. Once you have that filled out and get back to me within 24 hours, I'll have your program done within the next 7 days. Does that sound good? Write this down. Paint a clear picture of the next step. Always. You always need to paint a clear picture of the next step, which is why I say send me a screenshot and let me know what time you pick. Okay, so this is where a lot of you guys aren't doing. I'm gonna give you guys a ninja trick. I'm gonna play mine and then I'm gonna show you guys yours, okay? So this is my pre-call video. What is going on, Fitness Coach? First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to book in for a call. In this 2-minute video, I'm going to break down exactly what I need you to do to make sure you're set up for success on the call. Now, first things first is DM me confirmed on Instagram. Right now, your spot is temporarily reserved. Because we deal with such a high volume of calls, DMing me confirmed on Instagram will allow me to confirm your call so that I don't have to cancel it. Also, I am going to send you some free value right away because I want to make sure that you get started on the right foot so you can start making money. Step number 2 is to make sure that you're following me. If you're not already following me on Instagram, make sure that you are. I drop a ton of free value every single day, 3 posts a day, 7 days a week, and I'd hate for you to miss anything that can help you out. Step number 3 is to show up for the call. We are going to give you a call on your cell at the time scheduled. Your time is valuable, so is mine and my team's. If you can't make it, I get it. Life happens. But unfortunately, if you do no-show and you don't give us notice, you will not be allowed to book a call in the future. Now, last thing is to get ready to learn. The reason you need to do this is because they know that you're going to sell them. They're not stupid. So you need to tell them what the call is going to be about. On the call, we're going to deep dive into your biggest struggle with your online business, your number 1 goal in the next 12 months, and then it'll set you up with an actionable game plan on the call for the next few months. Just tell them what the call is going to be about because they're thinking, the fuck is this call going to be about? So just tell them what it's going to be about. Your number 1 goal in the next 12 months, and then we're going to set you up with actionable advice and a game plan on the call for the next few months. If it makes sense for the both of us, we will talk about our coaching options and then we'll get you set up on the call. Also, I just wanted to throw in a little bonus surprise. When you show up for that call, give them a reason to show up. $1,000 phone script as well as our TM script that has helped our clients generate millions of dollars of revenue online. For free, no catch. We just want to say thanks for taking the time. Listen, this could be you. Right? Like this is my client, Kayla Williams. She had a $22,000. Oh, look, that's Kenny. Kenny had 54 applications a day, and Maureen had $25,000. So we will chat soon. Once you're done watching this video, come back to the chat and say confirm, and I've got a bonus surprise for you. I'm looking forward to connecting. Let's get it. Cool. So I send that before my calls. And then I'm like, once you're done watching the video, come back to the chat and say confirm so I know that you watched it. We book 600 calls a month and our show up rate is 65%. Industry standard for show up rate is about 50 when you start booking that many calls. So ours is well above average. So yeah, that's really helpful. I'm a bottom lines kind of guy, okay? I will do whatever the fuck it takes to achieve success. Bottom line. So if that means I need to stay up the next 6 hours to fix my DMs because that's not working, I'm like a bottom lines kind of guy. Give me the fucking result, all right? I'll do whatever it takes to get the result. So you guys can take this template and use it as your own, all right? So I'll send this to you guys afterwards so you can add this. Obviously it has a PT Domination logo, so you're probably gonna wanna change it. Okay, so once you're done watching this video, come back to the chat and say done so I know you completed it. Cool, so they're gonna come back to the chat and watch the video. Love it. I've also got a bonus surprise for you. This is a free 10-minute training that walks you through exactly how I'm helping clients lose 5 to 15 pounds in the next 90 days. Then you're gonna insert a pre-call video training. This is gonna improve your closing percentage, okay? So you're just gonna send them a 10-minute video. There's just you walking through how you help clients get amazing results so that they get pre-sold on your program. Does that make sense? Then when you get on the sales call, they're gonna be a lot more warm and nurtured because they've watched this video. Your closing percentage goes. So there's again, I made you guys a template for the pre-call training. So you guys can make this on your own, but I'll just walk you through the template. So it's just your title name slide, put your company name here. Who's this for? So you're gonna name your specific avatar so that they know that they're in the right place. Present the solution, introduce the name of your program, talk about why your program is the best program on the market, who you are, so brag about your credentials as a trainer, why you're an expert in this field, how many fighters you've helped win fights, blah, blah, blah. And then clients you've worked with, so show client trust transformation. This is my client Sarah, who blah, 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 blah. This is my client Jenny, who blah, 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 blah. This is my client blah, 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 blah. The 3 pillars of your program, so you're basically gonna walk through how you help clients get amazing transformations. Program number 2, pillar number 3, and then you're gonna explain the tactics where you're basically gonna walk through like step-by-step bullet point format of how this works. And then you just talk about how your program's amazing, blah, blah, blah. Then bonus, just for showing up for the call, we're gonna give you XYZ free gift as a thank you for taking the time. So again, I always am incentivizing the next step. I'm always incentivizing the next step. I always want to incentivize my prospects. If you show up for the call, I'm gonna give you the training that I gave to all my fighters to make sure that they never gas in the fight. Whatever. You wanna give them a specific reason to show up for that call. And then on this, you're going to sell the strategy call. So again, on the training video, so like once you go through your program options, you want to sell the strategy call. So like on the strategy call, we're really going to be able to deep dive with you and your specific journey. And I will be able to give you a specific and actionable game plan for you and your fitness goals. So make sure you bring a pen and paper. You're going to want to take a lot of notes. We're going to cover a lot on the call. Make sense? So we're just selling the call. We're not selling the program. We want to sell the call. We want to get them excited for the call. Once we're on the call, then we can sell the program. Cool. Watch this before our call. Come back to the chat once you're done watching it and let me know what you learned. Cool? Question mark? They say cool. Sometimes they do watch it and they come back and tell you what they learned. Sometimes they don't watch it. Regardless, like whether or not they watch it is irrelevant. If they do watch it, there's a higher conversion rate, but like you just want to send the training as like an extra free value resource. Most of the time they will watch it. Regardless of whether or not they do watch it, in the morning, you're going to send a video, friends, and this is what we currently do. What's going on, Nick? Hope you're having the best day of your entire life. Just check the calendar. Saw we're booked in for a 15-minute call. I'm super excited. On the call, what we're going to do is 3 things. We're going to talk about your number 1 struggle, your number 1 goal, and I'm going to help you come up with a game plan to achieve your goals. Bring a pen and paper. It's going to be awesome. We'll chat with you soon. Voice note would be effective as well. This is the game that the $1 Million Mastermind students are playing. What I just showed you. This is the $1 Million Mastermind game. Because when you're playing at scale and you've got hundreds and hundreds of leads every month, which the $1 Million Mastermind clients do, you need to have a specific process that accomplishes all the goals. The goal, we want to get more calls in the calendar, yes, but getting calls in the calendar is useless if they don't show up. So we need to have a process to get them to show up, which is the 2-minute pre-call video. But if prospects show up to the call and they're not warm, they're not going to buy. So we need to have a process to get them warmed up, which is the 15-minute training. And then again, we're going to assume to show up with a 30-second video in the morning, reminding them of the call. Does that make sense? So at scale, this is the game that you play. So for me, I've got students that are coming in that are just starting their business. So I've got like a 0 to 10K training. I've also got students that are coming in that already have, a $25,000 a month business. So if I send them a free training on how to get to 10K a month, they're like, you're an idiot, right? So making sure that you're sending the right training to the right person is important. But for the most part, if you guys have the same avatar, you should be able to get away with the same 15-minute training. So again, here's what I recommend doing. I'm a big believer in business. I think this is where you get to when you scale. So this is what it looks like. But if you currently have a DM script and you don't have a pre-call video, all of you should do a pre-call video. 2-minute video. Change one thing at a time. Write that down. Change one thing at a time. Okay? That's my belief in business. I try not to change too many things at once because if I change multiple things all at the same time and something breaks, I'm like, was it the video? Was it this? Was it this? You don't know because there's too many uncontrolled variables. But if you change one thing at a time, all of a sudden your short rate goes from 65 to 80%. Well, you're like, well, I know what the was. Make sense? One thing at a time. This is the ultimate goal. But again, if you do have a 2-minute pre-call video, like Brandon, you should, right? Then we would add the training video, right? Which is the next thing we're going to do. So once we add the pre-call video, and we're done that, then we're going to add the training video because then we're going to get warmer prospects showing up to those sales calls and you're going to get even more people that take action. So not all leads are created equal, but each lead will have a different temperature, right? So like, let's say I'm DMing a new follower and I'm like, hey Franzi, thanks so much for following. Are you here on a fitness journey or just on the college? She's like, oh, I'm on a fitness journey. I'm like, well, that's awesome. Like, what's your story? Like, what got you into fitness? Like, oh yeah, when I was younger, like, I really struggled with my weight and blah, 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 blah. And, and she's opening up to you. Is that a cold or warm lead? Warm. Exactly. So we can continue on with the DM script. But if you're like, hey, Franzi, thanks so much for the follow. Like, are you on a fitness journey or just doing the content? She's like, content. And you're like, cool. Like, where are you from? She doesn't respond. And then you're like, hello, where are you from? Doesn't respond. Following up. Hey, I just wanted to check in to see if you're still, she's not interested, right? So that's why you got to read the lead. Here's a rule of thumb that I follow with DMs, you guys. And this is something that one of my first mentors taught me. Write this down. Find the now buyers. Okay. I'm going to explain the concept. Out of every 100 people that follow you or interact with your stuff, 50% of those people are never going to buy anything from anybody. How many of you guys have people in your audience that just download every free resource you have and never book a call ever in their life? Okay? Those are called non-buyers. Here's the rule. 50% of people that follow you are never going to buy anything from anybody. Okay? That's just the way it works. 35% of people that follow you, so we got 35% of people are going to buy something from somebody in the next 2 years. 15% of people are going to buy something from somebody within the next 90 days. Your job is to find the now buyers. Those are called now buyers. So when I'm in my DMs, this is why I don't chase people that don't want to be talked to, right? So if I try to get somebody on a call that's in that 35%, I run them through the DM script. They're displaying qualities that they're not a warm lead or not interested, but I still run them through my DM script and I still get them to book a sales call. What's likely to happen? No show, cancel, not interested. You waste 30 minutes on the phone, right? Exactly, it sucks. So with those people, if I'm in that conversation and I can tell that they're not very interested, it's much more productive for me to lean out and be like, hey, by the way, Brian, like, have you ever listened to my podcast? Oh, you have. Oh, you haven't? Okay, dope. Here's my podcast. I hope you find it valuable. And if you ever need anything, let me know. I hope you have a great day. Bam. Now this dude is gonna be like, oh sweet, this dude didn't try to sell me something. And he's much more likely to come back when he's interested because I'm non-invasive and I'm non-pushy. Make sense? So I want to talk about the difference between the purpose of each video, okay? So the purpose of the 2-minute video is to improve your show rate. It's to get more people to show for the call, okay? So 90% show rate. So that means that video is accomplishing its job. The purpose of the pre-call training video, so the 15-minute video, is to improve your close rate. So in the Millionaire Mastermind, there's a lot of people that have like a load of leads that are just following them. And so what'll happen is they'll get a lot of people that will book in for sales calls, but they're not warm enough to purchase because they haven't consumed enough content. And so their close rate will be like 25%. We'll implement a pre-call training. All of a sudden their close rate goes from 25% to 45%. So if you were to make the video longer, the only reason you would do it would be for the purpose of improving your closing rate. When you guys are like at 10 to 15K a month, your closing rate should be pretty good, like 40 to 60% minimum, in my opinion. As the numbers increase and you start getting more leads, your closing rate will naturally go down, not because you suck at sales, but because you're selling to colder traffic, right? Because all these people are following you. Kevin knows. You got a big fucking audience. All these people are following you. They might be watching your content, but they're not ready to buy yet. And also, when you get a bigger audience, it's almost like they view you as like a celebrity a little bit. So they like don't take it as seriously. Whereas like when you're a smaller creator, there's almost that more intimate connection. Does that make sense? Yeah, 40 to 60%. So yeah, figure out your closing rate. And then if your closing rate is under 40%, then I would make the video longer.
Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. Hopefully you got some value. If you did, and you want to learn more about how me and my team can help you scale your online fitness business to $10,000 a month, DM me 10K on Instagram at TheRealBrianMark for more information, and I'll reach out to you to see if I can help you grow an online coaching business.